Hello everyone, my name is Eisold, my pronouns are they, them, and I'm a PhD student and associate researcher at KU Leuven in Belgium. My research focuses on intersectionality, so the fact that different forms of discrimination and oppression are interwoven and interact with each other, and how to use an awareness of this intersectionality in activism. The aspect of the digital has come up while I was doing ethnographic and collaborative research with KIF, a Flemish anti-racist organization.
Traditionally, a website forms the heart of the organization's work. With it, they aim to give a platform to voices less heard in social debates and mainstream media. While working with KIF, the following question came up. Which role can this blog-like website play in making a wide variety of people feel welcome and encouraged to become active with the organization? To consider intersectionality in this context means, among other things, to acknowledge that the readers, writers, and learners of this website, the people who create and shape it, are located in a multidimensional matrix of power. They cannot be positioned solely with respect to their experiences, or not, of KIF's main focus, racism. Rather, these experiences are influenced by and interwoven with their other positionalities. My research focuses on the activities that are possible in the spaces created by KIF and what these activities can tell us about who might feel welcome to participate and who is excluded. One of the main ways to engage with KIF is reading. Several times a week, the organization publishes texts on their website that address racism. These resources are offered for free. Since they are published online, they are accessible without any restriction to time and location. Another advantage of digital written text is that it can be comparatively easily transformed to meet a reader's needs. Throughout a translation, adjustment of font size, or screen reading. The organization's editors are also trying to ensure that the texts are easy to understand for a broad audience. One could argue that reading for pleasure or additional education is not a very accessible activity in itself. A person's affinity to reading is influenced, among other things, by class, disability, degree of formal education, as well as knowledge of the language a text is written in. However, by making their publications as accessible as possible, the organization tries to counter this excluding nature of reading. A simple, easy-to-understand language and clear structure of texts can support many people, regardless of class, education, or disability, in receiving access to information. KIF hopes that when seeing texts on the website that people can relate to in content as well as style, more people will feel welcome and encouraged to participate in their other activities. The other main activity through which people work with KIF is writing. Many of the articles on the website are written by so-called contributors who are supported individually by the organization in transforming their ideas into a publishable text. This provides room for different levels of prior experiences, skills, and needs. Contributors also write in their own time and without deadlines, which caters to different ways of structuring everyday life around all kinds of other responsibilities. Sometimes contributors can be remunerated in monetary and non-monetary ways, which might make the time and energy investment easier for those who have to carefully consider their resources. It also shows contributors that their work is valued. The standard language of writing for the website is Dutch. Although this might at first seem like a barrier to writing, it is important to emphasize that platforms for writing about racism in English and French exist elsewhere. More importantly, writing in the native language of the region can be more accessible to those who, for example due to a low degree of formal education, do not speak a second language well. In addition, people who migrate to Flanders from outside of the EU are obliged to take Dutch classes and thus might also feel comfortable writing in Dutch. As with reading, writing is also an activity that is coded, among other things, by class, colonialism, and the exclusions in higher education. Making it as accessible as possible for people from various backgrounds with various experiences, educations, and skills can therefore be seen as a practice that counters these intersecting systems of oppression. Writing as a person with experiences of marginalization and discrimination, who is rarely represented in literature and media, is also seen as a tool for empowerment and healing. Nonetheless, we need to ask, who really feels invited to write and considers becoming a contributor? Often people start writing for KIF after having met the team members personally. Personal encouragement seems to be more convincing than advertising this opportunity online. Once a month, KIF organizes writing events, of which every second takes place online. Often the texts written during these events result in articles for the website. The events offer a space for contributors to network as well as for KIF to give impulses for topics they consider important. With the expertise and interests of the participants diversifying, the chances grow that the articles on the website discuss a topic from multiple perspectives, taking intersectionality into account. All in all, I thus argue that the website can be seen as a digital space that is attempting to counter intersecting forms of discrimination. This happens implicitly through the ways reading and writing are made more accessible.